Yeah. Yes. All right. All right. See my screen.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. So today I'll be talking about the geopolitics of critical minerals and the AI supply chain. All right. Yeah.
Can you
So
minimize your view? Like the preview of the slides is blocking the lower part of the screen. Thank you.
yeah. Is it better now?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't
So
know. Your screen doesn't look. Are you using like a blue screen filter or something?
oh, it's darker.
Yeah, like it's
Is it
gray.
better now?
It's not bright.
Is it better now?
Yeah, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, I want to talk about the geopolitics of critical minerals and the AI supply chain. A single large-scale AI data center requires over 1,000. When I was doing my research, I found out that a single large-scale AI data center requires rather over 1,000 tons of copper, not silicon, not cold, copper, refined copper, mined copper, and shipped from some of the poorest and most politically fragile countries and regions on Earth. And the emphasis I'm going to be making is that artificial intelligence in itself is not just a digital technology; it is also a mineral one. And you see, I think I said this during my last presentation, but the politics of I said this that was during the geopolitics of AI, but also the politics of those who control those minerals, these minerals that the AI data center require, which the politics of those who control them will shape who controls AI in itself. And you see, um during my research, I was going through some videos and I got a particular quote. And it says that this quote here, every technological stack is also a social stack, and AI proves no exception. Now, the from the Institute of Advanced Study. Now, first, AI in itself is one of the most resource intensive architectures ever built. We see here that it's very demanding. AI in itself is very demanding. And I know in one of our dating, we talked about alternate source of energy for AI and other things like that. So AI is very demanding, demands electricity, demands energy, demands a lot. And it demands most of these minerals in a
Sorry to
global.
interrupt you. I can't see your screen. I just want to confirm with everybody that can't see it, or it's just me. Okay, I
I
can
think
see it
it's
now.
just me.
Can we see my screen?
Yes, I can. You can go ahead.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so like I said, it demands these minerals like never seen before. Copper, lithium, cobalt, gallium, and all these rare earth metals. And the second thing here in itself is the colonial continuity. You see, the extraction of these minerals today follows thousands, hundreds of centuries pattern. The DR Congo, the Chile, and also Indonesia supply these raw materials. And then these global powers, the US and China, and also the European Union, they capture the value. And you see, the last thing here, the third thing is the weaponized interdependence. You see, these resource dependencies are increasingly converted into instruments of geopolitical influence, of geopolitical power. Now, countries like US, countries like China, they collect these minerals from these small countries, from those countries that supply them, that make them, and they are converted. They use them to enrich themselves because those countries they don't have the should I say, capacity. They don't have the capacity, the ability to manufacture, to produce that type of this thing because of, like we said, discussed in our earlier listing, lack of energy, lack of computing power, lack of data, data resources and things like that. Yeah. So the next thing here I'll be talking about is the full AI stack. Now, you see, to understand this, we look at the full, to understand these rare earth minerals and the AI supply chain in itself, we have to look at this, the full AI stack, not just what the engineers bring out for us, not just what the engineers are saying, but also what the scientists in themselves, what they see underneath it. And at the top, we can see applications. We see ChatGPT, we see image generators, we see all these decision tools. And you see, behind each and every one of them, you see data workers, people like labelers, content moderators, many based in Africa, Asia. And these people now are doing invisible cognitive. Their labor is not visible because you see, it's just like they are doing things, but they are not recognized for those things. Because you see, after it all, it's the global powers. They are the ones in charge of things like this. They are the ones that develop that. We call, they will say they found it, they created this, they did that. So they take charge of these things. And then I don't want to use the word undermine, but it's just
You can start
the power.
wrapping.
Oh, what do you say?
Yeah, the time is almost up. Time is almost up. Like,
okay, all right. So yeah, let me quickly. Yeah, so I've talked about the minerals that make AI possible: copper, lithium, cobalt, gallium, indium, germanium, and the rest of them. And then also I also spoke about weaponized interdependence. Sorry, and I talked about DR Congo and also China. So these are most of this. And then the last thing here, sorry. Okay, let's go further. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we talk who is the people paying the real cost of these things. Now, these are I use these two countries, these two places as case studies. Buckstown in Memphis, Tennessee, a neighborhood that was founded by formerly enslaved people. Today, there is an XAI facility that runs 35 gas turbines without required pollution controls. So, and this community does not have any meaningful say in how this infrastructure in itself was sited. And then the Atacama Desert in Chile, which is the world's oldest desert and also the second driest place in Earth. So it holds one of a third of the world's known lithium reserve and things like that. And those communities were erased from the colonial depictions of empty land. Now, you see, the last thing, before the final extraction without end. Now, none of these things, none of them are new. It's a continuity. In the 15th century, the Portuguese people explored West Africa. And the reason for that was because they found gold. They were driven by the gold that African are. And in the 16th century, slavery it started as a way to finance that gold they were looking for. And there is even this Portuguese code I read. It says that there's enough to last us until the end of time. And now the key questions here and the implications of things like this is, yeah, these questions, this genuine pardon me, sorry. Yeah. So like I was saying, the sustainability in illusion, green tech and AI compete for the same minerals. It says that it's there a version of the energy transition that does not intensify extraction pressure on the global south, or are they structurally incompatible? And research and political imagination. As the Institute of Advanced Studies put it, an expert there, and Alondra Nelson puts it, only by attending the full AI stack can we grab the stakes of the future currently being configured. So what I'll leave with is this: the demand for critical minerals is already reshaping societies, is reshaping ecosystems around the world, whether or not we choose to study that very closely. And that transformation is happening either way. So the question is not now whether change is coming, it is what kind of change, and whether we as researchers, we as people that are interested in policies, and also as citizens, can build the framework and the, should I call it, imagination, the political, let me just say, framework and policies that is necessary to shape its course rather than simply watch it unfold. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm sure you have questions, right? So I want us to just take one question before we go on to the next presentation. Thank you so much, Hezekiah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Virtual round of applause, guys.
Yeah.
Let's take one question before we go ahead. Question, contribution. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you,
Yeah,
Bright.
sorry.
I said it.
All right.
Right.
I'm listening.
Hello, Bright. Did you have a question?
Yes, I did have a question.
Please go ahead. You have to
I
make us
wanted,
briefer.
okay, I wanted to ask, for those who are doing research in some of these aspects, especially AI, and let's say how the energy is gotten to facilitate some of the structures in the AI sector. What major role do we play? Do we play the role of, let's say, research for advocacy? Is that what we do majorly? Um, Especially when it comes to policies, right? It's that, I mean, clearly, would that be our role as those who focus in, let's say, the policy and the research and all those things? Do we advocate, or is there a separate kind of should I say niche for those who advocate against some of the practices?
Okay. All right. Is that everything?
Yes, that's my question.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
We
you.
me?
can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. I said, is that everything? Is that everything?
Yes,
Yes,
that you said so. Yes,
that's
that's
my
it.
question.
Go ahead and respond.
All right. So yeah, all right. So currently there's nothing like because I was also trying to do some research on that. Currently, there's nothing like should I put nothing regarding policy advocates. That's regarding regarding AI policy advocates and things like that. They are nothing official, like official titles or things like that recognized. But you see, most of you said, is there a separate niche? No, currently no. But most of the field, most of our niches are actually have I will not say have things like that because it's not specified. But from our niche, it's just like from, should I use engineering now? From engineering, you can also delve from engineering into something like that, like research. I don't know the exact words to use, but just like focusing on your particular field, you can do research on things like that, AI policies and this thing regarding your own this. So that question of are there what is our role? The role we play. The role we play currently is as, I will not say advocates yet because we are still researching. So just for now, currently we are still researchers, just researching, and yeah, that's just mostly it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Ezekiah. Thank you so much. Wow, I need to take a screenshot of my screen. This is the first time all the members of this policy review are on this call at the same time. Is this not something worth celebrating? Somebody drop virtual round of applause. This is the first time everybody's actually on the call. That's awesome. Yes, so thank you so much, Hezekiah. Thank you, Bright. Jordan, please, you can start sharing your screen whilst I just add some things to what Hezekiah said. Jordan, just confirm you heard me right. You can start sharing your screen.
Yeah, I heard you. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
laptop.
All right. So the work we do here, at first it might feel so theoretical, and yes, part of the big things to do about it is advocacy. And what you are doing is that you are creating channeled directed insights for people to engage with, right? So when a policymaker, when a business leader, when a CEO is thinking along the lines of this thing, the work that you have now done, when you put it out online, when they go to their search bar and they are looking for material and stuff like that, they can find something that can actually guide their train of thoughts. And if possible, they could call you to come and engage them on what they are working on. That's one thing that could happen. The second thing that could happen is you could write a policy brief and send it to a policymaker in that regard, like a person in the House of Legislator, House of Representative, a senator, or things like that, right? And you can send it to them, right, to actually propose that policy to the House to get people to pass it into law. Like imagine that we have some of these rare earth minerals in Nigeria and they are being extracted unlawfully, right? So it's important that you could write a policy brief and encourage people to do something about it. And when you talk about it so much and everybody raises their voice on it too, it becomes difficult for the people who actually make decisions to ignore it. Right. So there are different ways that it could come into play. These things affect not just political aspects, they also affect like monetary aspects, things that apply to business leaders and private sector. So yep. I hope that I was able to shed some light. Jordan, I was using style to wait for you for your screen to come up. What's up? Should we move to someone else and come back to you, or are you able to present them?
I think let me just share from my phone first.
All right. Trying to make us move as fast as possible. Seems all of us have something to present today. Then my institutional AI strategy and AI policy is ready. I still have some finishing touches to do on it here, but yeah, I intend to share that with you guys today. Yes, just dropping this in passing. Please, at the end of after our closing ceremony next week. So I don't think we'll be doing any sort of presentation next week. Everybody will just be showing their work, right? What their capstone project was. So we're going to be requiring everybody to please record a video of themselves, stating how the experience has been in the course of the policy review, what they've worked on, what they've learned, and what has changed, what they've been able to do, right? So our dear video editor, God Gift, will help us add caption and compile the video so that we can post it actually. So yep. Just thought to put that out there. Just crossed my mind now. Yeah, just I just saw your screen now. It went off.
Sorry. If anyone else can present, I think they should just start.
I think Gift is next in line. Gift, are you able to present now?
Like not immediately. Like see, like 10 minutes. I have to like 1 minute.
What's going on? You?
No, like it's like I'm currently
Bright,
on the phone. I have to switch to my system.
Okay. Okay, whilst you guys do that, please, every other person just get ready to present in case somebody is not ready to present, right? So we can move from there. So I'll just run you guys through. So last week, let me do my own presentation now. I'm also working on my phone. Please confirm that you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Just with a thumbs up. Awesome. So Jordan and Gift, I'm using style to wait for you guys. Last week I presented on institutional AI strategy and institutional AI policy, right? And I explained what these two documents entail, right? That an institutional AI strategy states what the future, like where do we want to be the next 5-10 years regarding artificial intelligence, and the AI policies, like where we are now, what are we doing about artificial intelligence, how should people use it, how should people not use it. So I'll just quickly run us through the AI policy first, and I'll take us through the AI strategy. So I'm just fine-tuning some things. This is like an example of what your capstone project could be like, but I don't want everybody capstone project to be a document, so it's not going to be easy to engage with. So you could decide to do something on the app. You can use Claude to create a website, host it on Netlify. You can make a video, make a carousel series. So yes, the strategy, this is the policy rather. The policy has a summary. It speaks to who it covers, the university, students, the staff, and administration. Then the position of AI is just speaking to that, okay, we are not banning entire use of AI. Neither are we saying that people should just use it however they please. So I think it's better I put this in the mobile format so that it's easy for you guys to see, right? So as per what staff and students can do, there are levels of disclosure. Um, the one that you don't need to disclose, the one that you must actually disclose that you used, and the one where you actually have to take permission. So this strategy works in a way that it's centralized, right? The university gives a plain rule regarding the use of AI. Then the lecturers and teachers, each department and faculty can give their own specific rules on percentage of AI usage, modes of AI usage. Their responsibility speaks to the fact that you cannot list AI as the author or co-author of your work, right? You have to take full responsibility for whatever you're putting on the work. So this table speaks to the different levels of risk regarding data, like low risks and medium risks. The high risk ones should never be fitted into AI, like students' record, personal data, unpublished research data, and exam questions and answers. So the university can have like approved AI tools, like in a sense, but as per se, how will you be approving AI tools that you actually have no control over? So the only way that could be a backside to that is that university licenses an AI tool. So that AI tool now becomes the university standard, right? So having local rules, this is what I was saying, that university can set a baseline and other faculties and departments can have specific rules regarding the use of AI. Yet the misuse of AI would be presenting AI as your own work, not fact checking what AI has done, using AI to plagiarize people's work, using AI to cheat in exams, hallucination, and the enforcement, of course, through the heads of department, course instructors, and other academic integrity and examination processes that exist in the university. So not establishing a separate AI disciplinary committee, right? The same disciplinary committee of the institution goes ahead with that. And about keeping the policy to date, we acknowledge that artificial intelligence is a fast-moving technology, and all these policies are written in pencil. So from time to time, these policies should be edited to actually be up to date with the current state of things. Then the institutional AI strategy. I don't think I've uploaded this to the Google Doc. Institutional AI strategy. I think I should just stay in mobile format. Yep. So this is for my own university. So I use my university as the draft. By 2031, our university will be recognized as West Africa's leading center for AI-enabled higher education, a university where graduates are AI fluent and job ready, where research and innovation attract regional and international partners, and where AI strengthens rather than replaces academic and administrative excellence. I think the pen to read that for you to just understand what the goal of an AI strategy is like. So other strategic objectives have been stated. I found this craft framework that was created regarding cultures, rules, access, familiarity, and trust, and the different principles of this AI strategy. And it has three strategic pillars: people, process, and technology. So the people speaks to how AI is used in courses, how AI is used by staff, how AI is used in recruitment, and process, right, speaks to how AI can be used to facilitate the teaching experience, how AI can be used to save costs within the university. And the technology obviously speaks to things like building compute capacity, sandboxing rather AI research. Then for governance and ratification, this strategy proposes having a committee on artificial intelligence and emerging technologies would oversee the implementation of this strategy, having key performance indicators like the number of programs with AI literacy modules, peer-reviewed AI research inputs, number of people that complete their PhDs in AI, staff AI fluency training, cost savings from automation, and having private sector regarding AI. So So this is a slight implementation roadmap. I think I should put this in print layout for you guys to see. So you can see governance, formation, sensitization, AI literacy and training. Then from year 1 to year 2, year 1 to year 5, year 1 to year 3, year 1 to year 4. And this research up and partnership development starts from year 2 to year 5. So there's a lot to unpack in this document, but I try to just condense it as much as possible. The document proposes that a stakeholder consultation is put in place to actually fine-tune the draft of this AI strategy, right? To get everybody's feedback into the work. So that's all from my end. My institutional AI strategy and institutional AI policy. So the methodology will be what we detail the stakeholder consultation session and all. Yep. Thank you so much, guys. Let me get your feedback, questions, and answers as we move ahead to Jordan. Jordan, give a thumbs up if you are good to present now, whilst I take any questions or feedback from us. Any questions, feedback?
Okay, hello.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, this is what you plan to present to, and what's it called, your school, Abi?
Yes, after I clean it up a little bit, but something like this.
Okay, so my question is that year now, when the school picks a particular AI tool for the school, what do you think they should pick?
For now, the only most enterprise license like AI tool that I know about is Microsoft Copilot. So when they have Microsoft Copilot, I think when you get that enterprise license, Microsoft gives some proprietary storage for you. So your own information, the AI doesn't release it to the entire public. Jordan, I love that you're sharing your screen already. So the AI doesn't release it to public. So from what I've seen so far, many institutions use Microsoft Copilot. And for a school like mine, they're already using Microsoft suites like Teams, Outlook, and the rest of them. I think Copilot is just the best next step, right, to implement AI across the institution.
Now, sorry. How can you enforce them? How can you enforce that particular one that is only this one? Students are very hard to control.
Okay. So the concept is this, right? It's not, you cannot exactly police everybody, but you're just saying, now, AI, many institutions are using AI, but it's just in the shadows. Everybody knows you're using AI, but nobody's talking about the AI that you're using. So yeah, what we are doing is to call it out, right? Part of what the policy says to do is to ensure that students don't cognitively offload. If you check the AI strategy, it speaks to AI fluency trainings and a couple of other things to make people actually know that, okay, we are not saying you should not use this technology, but when you are using it, this is the guidelines, these are the rules, these are the policies, right? So we cannot stop people from using AI completely, but what we can do is just to guide how people use it, and to the extent that we can, censor how to use it in academic work to retain the integrity of the learning process.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, so Jordan, the floor is yours. Please, 8 minutes. That's 6:49. Thank you.
So good evening, all. Today we're going to talk about the emotional connections, ethics, and the future of AI relationships. So please just make sure everyone can see my slide. If you can't see my slide, please speak up.
We can see your slide and we can hear you.
I cannot say though.
I can't. So you listening fervently.
Okay, I think most of us can see the slides. So today we're actually going to just be diving deep into AI human relationships and just the complications and why people go into it. So essentially, we live in a digital age. Like most people feel right now, we have human interactions, but most of the human interactions had today is actually digitally. Maybe through text, through video calls, but primarily it's mostly through text, through chats online. through WhatsApp, Snapchat, or any other social media platform. So now, since most of our interactions already happen digitally, it's very easy to transition to having chats or relationships with AI companion, since we're already used to talking digitally. And one of the plus sides of you having AI companion is the fact that they are always readily available and they remove all the mess from having to maintain a real human to human relationship. Okay. And AI companions are also shaped to fit. Most of them are customizable. You can customize them to your personality preferences. And even as you chat with them, they begin to learn what you like and what you don't like. So they adapt to you very easily, while removing all the negative factors of human beings. So it feels like a perfect companion. So the CEO and co-founder of Replica, which is an AI companion company. She spoke about several
Jordan, I don't know
positive.
if it's working. Your screen is blurred. It's not sharp. I don't know why. That's how it is for everybody. It's just
Okay, it's also showing blood on my phone. I don't know, maybe it's my network.
uh, can you just try stop sharing your screen and share it again? Then if it remains blurred, then just go ahead like that because of time.
Okay.
Just for clarity's sake. In the future, when somebody is watching the recording, so they can actually see what is showing clearly.
Hmm. Okay, I'm coming, it's loading.
Okay.
Can we see the slides? It is loading. Hmm. Still
Yeah, I can see
blurry.
it.
Is it still blurry?
Just go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, it
It's
is. Well,
still
go ahead.
blurry.
Okay, no
Just go
problem.
ahead.
So the CEO of Replica, she actually, when she was younger, she had a best friend who was also her roommate, and they were very close. Then until something tragic happened and she actually lost her friend. So she relied heavily on AI companionship to actually help her through the struggle, which eventually led to her becoming or co-founding Replica, which is an AI companion company driven to help people in grief. And it has plenty positive reviews on people that have been helped to escape their loneliness, people that lost a family member and now they use it to cope and connect back with the real world. Also, old people who are living alone and they actually need help, like senior citizens. So the AI companion kind of served as a caretaker. So it actually has a lot of positive review for many people. But now the trade-off of attempting to substitute AI with human relationship is that you lose a lot of things. AI is try to say AI is programmed to have only one real emotion, and that emotion is positivity. So he always agrees with you, he always submits to your own opinions, and you also lose the imperfection of having a human being. AI also agrees with whatever ideology you have instead of giving you real accountability. So because of that, it leads to a plethora of problems. When someone talks to AI a lot, it creates a negative feedback loop. Your, should I say, toxic traits or bad behaviors you would have had and maybe had been called out by another human being, AI won't call it out. If anything, it might even fan the flames even more, which creates a negative feedback loop of, instead of leaving that negative habits, you instead begin to build on it and it becomes worse and worse and worse. It also works for loneliness sometimes, even though some people report helping them escape loneliness. But when you create a very large intimacy, or a very big or a very intimate relationship with AI, it becomes hard to want to leave that relationship and become involved with other human beings again. And the fact that AI is always available 24/7 and always gives you detailed replies, it just makes the matter worse and you become more attached to AI. So, and in very extreme cases, there's a 29-year-old public health analyst. She was depressed and suffering from severe anxiety for a very long time. And instead of communicating with her family members or their family therapist, she decided to create a ChatGPT prompt that was a therapist. Like, she prompted a custom therapist, named the therapist Harry, and instead she was reporting to the AI. So now eventually, and yes, the 29-year-old public health analyst, her mom was actually a reporter. So eventually, she died. She killed herself. She committed suicide. And her mom decided to do a deep investigation on the matter and report on it. So I don't know if you guys can still hear me.
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can hear you. Your screen, the sharpness just times in and times out. Well, we can, you see it's catch sometimes then because blow that on 10. I think you have like 3 minutes more because of the technical issues. But we are past 6:49 now. Yeah. Can you start wrapping up, sure?
Okay. So after reporting, even though the AI nudged her and helped her a bit with the depression, it never really, like, it could never be compared to the real better alternative of having a real therapist in person. And they found out that the last prompt sent to Harry, quote unquote, was a text saying that after Thanksgiving, she was going to take her life. But now, even though the AI nudged that she found help and spoke to someone outside, the problem is that talking to a real therapist, the person would have taken matters into their own hands and reached out to the family himself or herself. But now, since she just has an AI therapist, he wasn't able to do that, which eventually led to her death. So that's just the problem. That's a good case of AI-induced psychosis. Then you become so angry with AI that you create this delusion and begin to isolate yourself from other human beings. So now, what are the guardrails we can put for this AI companionship? The first one is clear and repeated reminders that the AI model is in fact just an AI model and has no emotions, no real emotions, and is just here as a cheap substitute. So many people have recommended that the user repeatedly gets prompts like that, just calling out itself that is not a real human, and therefore you should not treat it as such. There should also be algorithms put in place to raise alarms when it detects self-harm or any negative behavior that is getting to at least a severe state. Then direct crisis routing. If in her case, the AI, instead of talking back to her, realized the matter became dire and instead immediately dialed a therapist hotline or a police hotline, like something would have been done about it. So that should also be integrated into the whole algorithm. Then I also recommend personally that when signing up for some of this AI companion software, you should also be forced to attach maybe a family member's email, a friend's email, just a form of accountability email. So if the AI notices some bad behavior, you can always reach out to the accountability partner via email automatically without having to take permission from the user. So, but none of this, sorry. So also
That is
this,
helpful.
and this is the last stage. Companies should also change how they approach this. Most companies treat their AI companion software as sort of as how people treat social media. They always fix on how much engagement they can get, and they use it to track how good their AI platform is getting. That incentivizes the companies to make softwares that are addictive rather of helping. Their goal is just to make sure it sticks to the platform. So they actually try to make you have a codependence on the software, and that just has negative effects. Also, children and teens who are still in their formative years should also not be exposed to such software. They should at least be 18 plus before they can even consider using the software, because they have a lot of chances to have real relationships in real life on a day-to-day basis. So that's the end of my slides. I don't know if anyone has any question.
Thank you so much. So I just have a quick comment to make, and I'll leave the floor for one question. I love the presentation. I love the direction. Jordan always brings us very fresh perspective, like AGI and this one now, AI and psychology. So I was just thinking about that one of having like an human, what's it called? I was looking at the data privacy concerns of that, right? That okay, if you using that data, does data not go beyond the person or the boundaries of the sole owner of the account? If the AI now starts to read that data and is able to make these informed decisions, but I want to imagine that there can be legal frameworks should be that can be put around that to make it possible for you to add like a next of kin or something. So, Bright, please, just in a minute, you can please ask your question so we can move to gift.
Okay, sorry. Let me
All right.
address. Sorry. Let me address what Ezekiel said. Um, from Sam Altman himself actually made a public announcement saying that anything you tell AI is not really private. The same way if you tell something to a therapist, they are not allowed to tell anyone else. So anything you communicate to AI is actually property of OpenAI, and they can actually use it for public development or private development. So the information already is not really yours to begin with. That's why he also urges people not to have some personal. Okay, let me give you an example. If you are admitted to murder on OpenAI, they can use it as evidence in court. Unlike if somebody stole the information from you, which is illegal to do. So it's not really your information once you tell ChatGPT. It's the same as posting a video on TikTok. If you post a video on TikTok that you killed someone, it can be used as evidence. The same way if you talk to ChatGPT, it can be used as evidence. So the information was never really yours to begin with, according to Sam Altman.
I thought people use like a temporary chat that they said we clear your details after 30 days or something like that.
Okay, I'm not really sure about that, but I know you really don't own what to tell ChatGPT. It's not really private,
Uh,
according to Sam Altman.
all right. Bright, please go ahead.
Um, Good evening. As you were giving the presentation, I was thinking of a whole lot of things. Like this is a quite this is a topic that seems very philosophical. Also, like it deals with our real world. I was a bit concerned when you mentioned that younger children, sorry, teens and let's say the younger population should not be exposed to this. And I thought, what if those who are older than them, let's say those who are who are the majority of the population already are doing such? I mean, if there is going to be guardrails, how do I put it? If if you attach an email to sign when signing up for some of this stuff, it's like the AI now sends an email to it's almost like data privacy issues. If you tell someone not to have certain kind of conversations, people have their choices. I mean, just the way you can, look at it in the real life now. Various countries are restricting like they are 16-year-olds down below not to have access to social media. I mean, is there going to be something like that for, let's say, such an issue? Because I would say that like there is little or no advantage to let's say having an AI companion. It's just a fantasy for for escaping some of the, as you said, it's addictive. I mean, the companies are just trying to make profits. I mean, but like for the governments, the ones that know how their citizens should be treated, is there something they can do? I mean, is there like a concrete, because I mean, why will you have an AI companion when you can meet a therapist? Even if you can't meet a therapist, I mean, even if it's cost effective, I mean, but like the idea doesn't really. So if there is going to be like, if currently there is, I mean, but though it has not approached, let's say, the apps and the AI aspect, but social media, yes, globally, different countries are already laying foundations to restricting students, teenagers and younger ones. So if that is already happening, I mean, what kind of development should we say should be implemented for the older ones that do, it's a new niche, but I mean, for the older ones who are involved in this particular AI companionship of a thing, like what can, let's say, in the long run, the thing is just like that. I mean, but like I'm sure you understand my question.
Um, there are actually many alternatives or many policies that can be put in place. First of all, you can enter the ethical route that AI companies should not make talking to AI addictive in the first place. Maybe you can put time limits on some of these models to encourage people to realize that this is not real. Like, there are plenty of solutions to this problem actually. You can also take the route of maybe banning AI companions in your states. But I just want to make this say that there are actually real positive reviews on these AI companions, not subjective reviews, but universally agreed upon objective positive reviews. So it actually helps some people. It just becomes bad when it's used in a negative sense or attempted to be used to replace human to human relationships. I don't know if I answered your question.
All right. I want to believe that was a good response. Timileyin, I see your hand is up, but because of the interest of time, so I want you to just probably text your question or your feedback, text it here on the group chat so that we can address it. I want us to like place priority on the presentations for now. Right. So please just text it so we can come back to it in time. I want to confirm something. Timileyin and Bright, did you guys work together this previous week or you worked separately? Just want to know how many presentations we have left today.
We work together.
We,
We
we
work
did
together.
we worked together actually, but I mean, we kind of chose our topic a bit late, and it took a while to, let's say, um, it took a while
So you guys
to
don't have any
find some, like,
presentation.
how do I,
So,
resources.
so,
We
so
though
in rest,
how do I even put, I know have seen our conversations on the subgroup, but I mean, we were trying to reach out to each other, though we were very late. I confess we were very late, very very very
All
late.
right. Let's
There
take
is no mess for
let's
that.
take presentations from Gift and Jasmine. Then take other
so
questions and feedback.
in response to your question, sir, we work together. We're just a little bit diverse regarding
All right.
network issues and some other stuff in case we had
All right.
second options.
All right. All right. All right. So Gifts and Jasmine, please try to get your presentations ready. Jordan, you can stop sharing your screen whilst you take Gift's presentation onto Jasmine. Then I'm not going to give us time for feedback. So please, if you have any feedback, just note it down. You can send it as a text so that after the two presentations, we can now discuss the questions. I really want us to keep to time today. Gifts, as always, with all these nice pictures. But yeah, 8 minutes, sir. Please,
Okay.
let us leave you on time today.
Good evening,
Wait, sorry,
everyone.
guys. I want you to do something for me. If you're on Teams, can you be screenshotting your screen? Like, like screenshot your screenshot on Teams. I need it for documentation purposes. You can send it to the group chat after now. Thank you so much.
Wait, sorry, we should make a screenshot of what?
Of your screen that like shows the presentation and the people on the call. Like just help me screenshot it. Thank you. If you're on laptop or if you're on
Okay.
phone or whatever it is, thank you. You can go ahead, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, we are talking about today. My topic is on AI startup ecosystem in Africa. Okay, so let's move on. So basically, we are talking about the globe. This like emphasizing on the global versus the African context. So currently, globally, we are being ruled in terms of like startups. Instead of startups, we are being dominated globally by different trillion-dollar companies and different foundational model. Why Africa on the other hand now, home to 2,400 AI-related companies with roughly, 2 billion naira in collective funding. That is the current context, and then so the focus is now that African startups will prioritize apply the AI to solve systemic issues and challenges rather than generate chatbots. So yeah, currently, so let me just explain what this slide is currently saying. So for now, currently now, Africa has a lot of companies. We have a lot of AI companies, but basically, I did not. Okay, it was not included here. Basically, we definitely lack funding. We definitely lack funding. I think out of over $47 billion invested into AI in 2025, I think only $2 million got to African like the African context. That's less than a 0. I don't know. I think it's 0.07, 0.01%. I mean, of the global investment. So, in other words, people outside Africa are the one in terms of startup, are the one dominating Africa in terms of AI. And so, the more reason why African startups should prioritize, solving systemic issues, not just like applying AI alone, like just for chatbot and all that, using AI and utilizing AI. I'll still talk more about that in terms of like the startup now, because there is a very, 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 very thin line between, seeing an AI startup in the sense that you are just utilizing it and being an okay. First of all, let me just explain something. Being an AI startup is not basically I have AI in my app. No, that's rubbish. You're only utilizing AI. You are not in the vertical of AI startup. So an AI startup is a startup that its primary foundation, like if you remove artificial intelligence, what artificial intelligence? Machine learning, computer vision, neural networks, natural language processing, all of that. If you remove them from its system, like the system will crash. That's what qualifies to be called an AI startup. So there's been a lot of classification issues. So I'll talk about that also. So yeah, this was a statement by Gullit Ventures Capital. Gullit Ventures Capital is one of the largest investor companies that we have in Africa. So they said that fintech has laid the foundation, and yep, we can all see that over the past, like, let me see, 4 to 5 years, fintech has been the one in terms of like getting the revenue for the country. Money Point, for instance, has become like the unicorn, the global unicorn, for the continent, if I'm not exaggerating now. So it has in terms of startup. Now, Money Point is not an AI startup, but is a fintech that uses AI. That's also another clarification I want to make, because there has been a lot of misclassification between what an AI startup is and what an AI startup is. So, believe VC made this statement that fintech laid the foundation. AI can make that foundation smarter, and the next wave of value creation will come from the convergence of both. I'll explain later. So what are the core focus sectors? Ah, Jesus. I hope I did not use time out today. Okay. What are the core focus sectors? These are like the three major sectors in which AI are being applied in terms of getting AI, in terms of getting, cogent results. Now, in terms of financial service, people use AI to like check your credit scoring. Like, for example, now you want to apply for loan, people check throughout your bank history. They use AI to check your bank history and check whether you are qualified to, be awarded a particular amount of loan. I think what's the name of this company? Indicina is also an AI startup for that. It checks whether you are ready to collect a particular loan. And they also use it for what's it called? I don't know, they use it for visa. People that want to go outside the country, they check their bank statement and all that. So AI can also help in terms of financial services. In terms of agriculture, we all know how that computer vision has helped in terms of like detecting diseases. We can snap pictures to, AI, there are a lot of AI startups. I can't mention name now, I don't remember name now. That they are into AI, integrating agriculture into AI and all that. And also we have healthcare. Really, AI has really evolved over in terms of healthcare. People can now, scan themselves and use data of previous scan to diagnose what is really wrong with them. And time is not behind me. So basically now, we have out of the 207 core AI startups that are analyzed, software leads in the horizontal aspect. Now, on the vertical aspect is the previous slide I talked about. Now, this horizontal aspect, basically, software is a very generic kind of statement. Like, what do you mean by software? Like, software are like being used to for another field. So, software is not like a basic, but that's basically where most of our AI was because this thing. We talk about how AI has affected software development is very, is a different case on its own. There are a lot of, coding, what's it called, agents. There are a lot of agents out there that, aid software development. I'm telling you, like, if you have your money and you have with Cloud Fable 5 or Opus 4.8, you can just think of a business right in your room and then draft the site, like, do everything. Like, you don't need to even know anything. With the way AI is currently now, the way AI has drastically changed software. And if you refuse to adapt, I just know, let me not talk about that. That was because I'm actually a software developer, so I really know a lot about this software part a lot. So let's move on. Looking at it as a case study in terms of AI startup, I believe everybody knows about Awari. I believe everybody should know about Awari. That's like a very leading. What do you think?
Like, can start moving fast toward the end. Time
Okay, I
is
think
running out.
I just have 2 slides more. Okay, let me rush. Everybody knows Awari. Awari partnered with the Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital. Just CID, FMCID. I just know the abbreviation. Yeah, Digital Economy, FMCID. To launch this atlas. Basically, this atlas means African tongue and language at scale. African tongues and language at scale. So basically, the idea of this Awari is an AI startup. Basically, it's an AI. Is like you can I can categorically say that Awari is an AI startup. So they partner with FMCID to launch this particular model. Atlas Umoja it comprises of all the African languages, and the goal is to accelerate the development of LLMs built by Africa for Africans. And those are part of the challenges I will face. Now I need to rush. I will not talk about most. So yeah, the language barrier. I talked about it that African houses about over 2,000 languages, and yet just 2% of all these languages are supported in our, commercial, use like ChatGPT. In fact, basically all those Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, I found out that some of those AIs, they are basically, but they don't have those deep. For example, now there are some languages that I don't know. I don't know, like very funny languages. I'm just hearing them recently. I was like, do these languages exist? Like, there are a lot of languages in Africa, and all these popular areas that we know, they don't capture them. So that's the more reason why we need to like have our own build AI for our own self, have our own data. My time is running. Let me talk about this, strategic recommendation. Right, I think I missed the slide. Jesus, I missed the slide. Yeah, the current disadvantages and risks. These are like let me just round up. I'll use this slide to round up everything. I still have one more. Okay, so my time is I'm really behind time. So we have infrastructure, we all
Just
know.
quickly summarize this slide and the next slide. We still have like
Okay,
2 minutes to spare.
okay, 2 minutes. Thank God. Really, okay. The disadvantages that we have currently, we all cannot overemphasize the fact that we have infrastructural problems generally as a continent and as a country in essential. So infrastructure is something we lack, and in order to boost the ecosystem for AI startup, this is something we must really focus on. The brain drain. Top AI that I talked about this. I think it was last week I talked about this that we are losing a lot of AI talent due to immigration because they are offering unmatchable compensation package and also data sovereignty. Data sovereignty is one thing we are currently fighting for, and those are like the risk if we do not if African nations do not like put in for this, having a very good AI startup ecosystem. These are like the issues that are currently in place. So for now, let me just round up to the last slide and talk. Okay, yeah, this is the last slide. So now, what are the strategic recommendations? Invest in local compute, expand linguistic data sets, proactive policy frameworks, and retain and train talent. Retain and train talent. Emphasis on that. So I'll just talk about them. Basically, we all know that we in Nigeria we have a lot of issues and all that, but that doesn't still mean that we cannot like solve our issue. So part of the recommendation in order to solve this having this ecosystem issue is having a lot of investment in local compute. Like whenever we see a startup, we should like pour out money on them like as if we do not have life beginners. Basically, I've already told us the difference between a startup that is using AI and an AI startup. An AI startup has AI as its primary core functionality. So we should prioritize AI startup in terms of investments now because they have the capacity of driving growth like on a very high what's it called times. So expanding our data set. Basically, the data set that we have currently for most of our models, they are in English, little and Yoruba, little and Hausa and Igbo, they capture. So for all those other, non-existing, oh God, my time is out. For all those non-existing, what's it called, languages, we should find a way to capture them. We should try to make sure that everybody in Africa is able to use AI. So I think I should just stop here for now. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I can see policy frameworks, regulations, and public-private partnerships to train and retain AI talent. Awesome presentation, Gift. Thank you so much. Please, if you have any questions, please give me a virtual round of applause. If you have any questions or contributions, drop it in the chat here or on WhatsApp. I will take it just at the end of the presentations. Thank you so much. Awesome. I also started an AI startup. May I give to be the reason I'm Jasmine, please, you can start sharing your screen. And so data centers are coming now. So build AI startup that is to manage AI data centers. Abina. So
No more.
Jasmine, please start sharing your screen. Just bridging time to yeah, so just build startup there. And then there's one fun thing that I think is going to happen, right? As you keep working in AI policy, and then you are like the first partaker of like this AI Nexus community I'm building now. I am encouraging you guys to join. It's going to be something like what you are doing here, but like on another level. It won't just be presentations, right? There will be people who are actually working in the field that will be joining the community and just engaging with what you are doing. And imagine just being at that melting point of all the ideas on the continent regarding AI and having your eyes open to business opportunities. Like right there and then, like I'll be able to broker deals sharp and be collecting my responsible commission. The deals that are going on as per se, So this AI policy thing is not just for talk. I've currently been digging deep into energy systems and artificial intelligence, energy systems and data centers. You guys will see the workings later. Just wanted to give you some what's the word? Some spoilers. But yeah, Jasmine, please go ahead. Let's work with 8 minutes, please. so we can close as soon
No
as
problem.
possible.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, and your screen is
Please.
visible too.
Okay.
Sorry, just
Can
before
you
you
see
go
my?
ahead,
Okay.
just before you go
Yeah.
ahead, I just want to drop this out today. You guys should please remind me. Let's discuss it after. I'm thinking of uploading the video recordings of the policy review on YouTube, and then like just annotating it properly on different subject matters that we have discussed, so that people can find it and watch it after the program has ended. So I was just looking at that. I also dropped that message on the group chat. So we'll discuss it later, Sha. Please go ahead, Jasmine.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So today's topic, my topic, is going to be cross-border data transfers in Africa. I hope you can see my screen, by the way. Hello?
Yes, you can.
Hello? Okay. Thank you. Right. Cross-border data transfers in Africa. How a gap in local infrastructure sets off a chain. You know what? See, I'm going to try to explain this as easily as possible so I can take a relatively short time. Okay. Right. Okay. A single continuous life cycle. So cross-border data transfer in Africa is best understood as like a continuous chain, right? And not four separate issues. So it's kind of like they're all steps. Not really steps, but like they depend, each step depends on the last. So the first is infrastructure, the second is exposure, okay, not really, let's not say like that. But anyway, these are the four uh okay. The four steps involved: infrastructure, exposure, legislation, and enforcement. They make more sense later as we go. Okay, so this is the first stage, that infrastructure stage. So essentially, we're going to talk about why data leaves the continent first. So local infrastructure constraints push educational institutions, startups, and enterprises towards offshore cloud hosts. Sorry, guys, so you might get a bit noisy now because it's about to start raining really, really bad. But essentially, this slide is talking about how institutions and organizations like in Africa, because we don't have any like working data centers and stuff like that. We have to transfer data out of the continent. When we rely on platforms like ChatGPT, right, we're sending local data across international borders as a byproduct of normal operation. And so it's like we have to do it. It's not because we want to, but because we have to, because the domestic alternative that's having data centers and cloud storage, local cloud storage, it doesn't exist at the scale that we require. Now, practicality to principle. So once data flows offshore, right? Like once data goes out of the continent, because it has to go out of the continent, because it goes out of the continent, it creates economic and ethical exposure that governments and institutions cannot ignore. Essentially, we're just saying that when we send our data out of the continent as like a necessity, we're scared that what if the companies that are abroad, what if they use our data, right? And they gain money from it, but us were not rewarded for it. So they use it without our consent, and they gain value for it, but us we don't. That's essentially what this slide is talking about: protection against offshore exploitation, local control, and community ownership. They're saying that we own our data, and so it's not fair that other countries would benefit from using our data and we're not benefiting as well as they are. From NDPR to NDPA. So this slide is talking about what Nigeria has done to address that concern. So in 2019, there was the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation. That was like, essentially, it's just like a law that says only the countries that we approve will be like allowed to, we will only send data to countries we approve, right? But see us using all these different AIs made by different companies in different countries. What if a lot of the AI we use is not made by countries that we approve of? So that's why we switched, or not really switched, but we moved on in 2023 to the Nigeria Data Protection Act, which doesn't just say that, oh, we'll only send data to the countries we approve, but it provides a lot of different ways that we can use. How should I say? A lot of different tools, yeah, that we can use. Not really tools. I don't know what word to use, but different ways that we're allowed to transfer our data to other countries, right? So instead of just saying, oh, only the countries we approve, there are things like FCCs, BCRs, adequacy determinations, and statutory derogations. I'll explain that in the next slide. Okay, so this slide talks about how Kenya has attempted to do, like the both of us are kind of, Kenya and Nigeria, they kind of had the same idea. So in their own act, like, do you know them FCCs that I was talking about just now? That's what they're doing. So FCCs are like, you make laws that govern how the data will be transferred. Then BCRs, binding corporate rules, is essentially like, oh, as a country, if I have, as a business organization, if I have another branch of a business in another country, we're going to be sharing data with the same standard. Explicit consent is like, if I sorry about that. Okay, if I say that you can use my data, then I will. So it's kind of like the country will say, oh, this other country can use my data. And then statutory derogations is sometimes like the laws that we use, that we say, oh, this is how we're going to govern our data. It doesn't really comprise of every situation that could occur. So there are some situations that we have to think of that don't fall under that legislation that will say that yes, they can use. So sorry guys, almost done with the presentation. Time's almost up. So closing the loop, governance and auditing. So it's essentially like, so I've already said that we're going to make laws for transferring the data so that we don't fall under exploitation. So now we have to enforce those laws. But what if companies don't use it? And what if we've said that there will be laws, and now we have to ensure that those laws are followed? So yeah, that's the regulatory approval thing, where they have to, like, they have contractual clauses with other, they have contractual clauses that say that, oh, you have to use the laws that we said you should use with other countries. Yeah, essentially. So they are just enforcing it that, oh, I'm only going to send you my data if I'm only going to send you my data if you promise that you will not exploit it. Like, you are legally bound to not exploit my data. And then there's continuous auditing. You know how I was talking about the BCR thing, where there are companies with other branches in other countries, and we're sharing data in like a particular way. So when certain companies, they transfer data out of, they not really transfer, but when local data is being used in other countries because of companies in Nigeria, they have to like regularly make audits that the laws that we've said for transferring data, like, are the companies following them in their dealings with other countries. So yeah, this is my last slide, everyone. Thank you for listening. So it essentially just talks about what I've just said, that there are 4 stages in this one life cycle: the gap, the sovereignty concern, the framework, the governance, and auditing. So let me just read this last bit. Durable progress requires all 4 of these. Infrastructure gaps push data offshore as a practical matter. So that offshoring creates sovereignty and ethical concerns. These concerns drive statutory frameworks like Nigeria's NDPA and Kenya's DPA, and those frameworks are only meaningful once backed by regulatory approval and ongoing auditing. So each stage depends on the one before it, and durable progress will require building the infrastructure that reduces the initial trigger, even as legal and enforcement layers mature to manage the data that must, for now, still cross the border. Thank you, guys. I hope you understood what I just presented. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you. Okay, bye. That's my girl.
Let's please give Jasmine a virtual round of applause, guys. Virtual round of applause. So here now, questions or contributions for gifts for Jasmine. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's try to keep it as concise as possible. We have some very important deliberations to make before we leave this custody. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to ask that if Jasmine heard about the CBN rule, like CBN enforced one, I think it's the beginning of, I don't know, but it's recent that all of Nigerian data in terms of like financial data must be processed within Nigeria. Like, I don't know if you about that.
I'm just okay. I think you said that. Do I know that CBN passed a law that all of Nigeria's financial data cannot be transferred abroad? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Oh no, this is actually the first I'm hearing of it, to be honest. Wow. I'm going to like after this call, I'm actually going to do some research on that. But thank you very much for that. I'm gonna check it out after the call.
Yeah, I think it also draws my attention to our sovereign AI. I'm the AI guy, right? I'm Africa's AI guy. We've really been pushing that Africa should build their own data centers. Modular data centers can, like this new regulation, I will give a rise to development of more data centers across the country because data will keep getting, data is infinite, right? It keeps increasing every day. So it's important that these data centers are actually in place to build data sovereignty. I think I saw something like that on the slide. Yes, to build data sovereignty, cognitive sovereignty, and actually AI sovereignty. So, Brad, please go ahead with your question. Please make it as concise as possible. Hello, Brad. If you can hear me, please go ahead with your question or your contribution.
It was a contribution. I can hear you clearly. I don't know if I'm audible enough.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so concerning that CBN rule, it's actually a very recent one. I think I heard it over the news a few days ago. And concerning, I was actually thinking of this. I was pondering over it. I was trying to explain to one of my friends. Um, Data centers are actually used for, I think, two major purposes. You have data centers that store data, then you have data centers that do data transformation. I think that's the AI ones, right? So I think a few financial institutions have, let's say, maybe the ones they use to store data, except those who depend on what's the name of this company, Amazon Cloud Services. But I mean, they're kind of like they have like vaults, like data vaults within the country. But I think maybe because of flexibility and the fact that you have to use the internet, they had to maybe put in that rule. So that's my contribution. Yes.
Thank you very much, Brad. Thank you so much. Awesome. So, um, like we all said, like we all know. So I want to actually apologize for something. I want to confess and apologize for something. But so I did not tell you guys anything about a capstone project when this program started. I did not. Let's be honest, I actually didn't. Right, but did somebody leave the call? Yes. Let me get the call. Hey, give me a moment, sir. Give me a moment, guys. So yes, I'm back now. Can you confirm that you can hear me? Just a thumbs up or something. Started raining. It's always windy in my area. It's not raining yet, so I'm not
Yes,
sure the
it
network is bad. Okay. So I want to confess, I want to apologize that I actually did not inform us of having a capstone project like when this program started, right? And actually this coming week was just supposed to be for us to chill and do some closing ceremony next week and just appreciate everybody for being during at the policy review, right? But sometime last week I just thought it's that okay, we have been making slides, we have been reading, we have been doing analysis and all these things all this while. Like why not like channel all this knowledge and experience that we have gathered over the course of this, is it 10 weeks now or 11 weeks, right? Like focus it on producing a solution for somebody, like focus it on producing a product in every sense of the word that is useful for somebody out there, right? Not a random analysis, not a random research presentation, like something that is a solution to people, right? And yes, that's when I now thought and I shared it with us. Then please, I'm sorry. I know you don't like showing our faces. Even I don't. Even though you see me making a lot of videos, I'm cringing as I'm making them, right? But please, I think I keep saying this thing for posterity's sake, for legacy's sake, I think it's important that we make that video. So something I just wanted to throw into the air, I'm just playing around with the idea, if we should release our meeting recordings online, right, so that it can just be there, like 5-10 years from now, you can go back to it and actually see that, oh, this was what we worked on. And imagine somebody searching up about something that we have researched about, right? They can actually find it on YouTube. The same way you go on YouTube to find YouTube videos of people who have done certain things. Like you can also document it, right? When somebody asks you, oh, I participated in the air policy review, you can showcase it to somebody that, oh, this is it actually, right? So yep. I think we're going to do that. Some recordings are with me, some recordings are with Jordan. So we'll find a way to like pull them up, upload. So that we always point. Then I'll need some assistance, right? This is not a role in the policy review itself, but like I will need some assistance from somebody from us, right? I think I've put that out before, right? Just help to aggregate all the things that we have done in this policy review, like pulling the topics from people's Google Drive, like pulling topics we have worked on, just taking stock of everything we have done so far, right? I'll need some assistance with that. So yes, I was talking about the capstone project. So next week, we're just going to be like 5 minutes. Everybody gives a brief overview of what their capstone project is about. If it's a website, if it's a series, if it's a video series. Oh my, just a moment. Please, let me find it. Yes, so if it's a video series, like I don't know, just come up with something wild. Come up with something wild. Like, okay, all these things I've done in the policy review. I want to do something creative. Like think outside the box. There's no box, break the box. I don't know how else to sound like a motivational speaker, right? Just come up with something creative. Like there's no box in this. Just think about it. So like anything to slides is not a PowerPoint. Is a product, right? I've given us different ideas of what the capstone project could be. Hear me, guys? Can you get up? Just confirm that you can still hear me.
Yeah, you are hearing, but it's breaking. Okay, it's really not your
So
side,
like,
Abby.
just come up with yes. Rain is about to start. So just come up with something creative. Like I don't know how else to tell you. Break all the rules. Break all the rules. Like for all you're researching about Africa, researching about Nigeria. Like just think like I wanted to create it. What would it be? So please, this night, let's not make it till tomorrow. This night, this night, let us send our topics to the group chat. You can also think with me on the group chat. Like if you are thinking of, oh, can this work? Can this not work? Just drop it on the group chat and I'll give you feedback right there and then. So please, this night. So that's what we are going to work on for this week. It's not you are not picking any topic from the topic bank this week, right? Just think about it. I want to come up with a product, a solution, a capstone project, however you want to put it. Like you can even host a webinar, right? You can host a webinar regarding any topic, but please you do it this week, sha. Or at least we must see the flyer for the webinar this week. So you can host a webinar. If you are in your school, you can host an event. Like just do something outside the box. I don't know. Break the box. Whatever it is. I think I've poured out my heart regarding the capstone project. We're going to upload the YouTube videos on YouTube, and please going to record a video just sharing what our experience has been in the course of the policy review, what we have learned, what we have gained, what has stood out to us, what we enjoy, what we are going to miss, and all. So just have that as a video compilation that everybody can share and look back to years after now. And then you know why we have been collecting feedback forms, collecting this, collecting that. It's for the sake of documentation. The rain is getting heavier. I was trying to shout, right? So it's for the sake of documentation because years after now, you probably want to write it in your CV that, oh, I was a part of the African Air Policy Review from so and so to so and so. And you can point out to things that you actually did. And if they ask for evidence of what you did in the policy review, that's why we have the Google Drive. That's why we're going to have all these recording videos that you can actually show that this was what I did. So, we started this with great hopes that probably would engage policymakers, engage everything, blah 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 blah. But we see that that's actually beyond us at the moment. But with what we have at the moment, right, we have to hold it with gratitude and actually make as much noise as we can about it. That's why I started saying make a LinkedIn post every week since we started. People who have made LinkedIn posts, people who have not made, right? That's how you build a footprint for yourself, by showcasing the work that you are doing online, right? So I've exhausted what's on my heart. Closing ceremony next week, capstone project. Please, as much as possible, if you can finish your capstone project this week, that'd be awesome. But if it's a capstone project you can't finish this week, like just show us what you have started about it this week, and then we'll just follow up with it after the closing ceremony. And you can just share what the capstone project is about next week Sunday. But yeah, by God's grace, next week Sunday will be our last meeting on any Sunday regarding anything regarding the air policy review. I think we have actually done so well so far. I'm thinking of asking Daniel to join us. I'm not sure yet, but yep, 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 yep. We still have like 20 minutes more. I want to see if we can explore like one presentation from Timileyin and Bright before we go. So Timileyin, Bright, which presentation would you guys like to take? I understand like there's a backlog. There's a backlog of presentations. I don't think we'll be able to take everything, or maybe just one this night, right? So maybe I can share my screen from here. Just give me feedback.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
I uploaded the slides and the file, the PDF on the group, subgroup 3. If you can check it here, that will be the presentation I'll be taking for today.
Right. Right. Let me just open it up now. Guys, I'm going to miss this one. I'm going to miss all of us. I'll miss this meeting. Like what will I be doing my Sunday evenings now after now? Working on the presentation every Saturday. Guy, it's going to be greatly missed. Going to miss it a lot. Sorry, I'm trying to just share my screen. Give me a minute.
Oh, okay.
I'm just this person is saying yes, finally. This is going to end now. Can you see my screen, please?
Not yet.
Gift, can you see my screen? Jasmine, can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Not really.
So, can you see it?
I'm not even seeing that it's you that is talking. Except it looks like it's Timileyin that's talking. No.
Wow.
I can see.
You know what's going to happen? I'll forward the slides to the main group chat. If someone else can share the screen from their end.
I can see.
I think the rain is messing
Hello.
with my.
Hello.
Let me just send it to the group chats so we can save time.
Hello.
Can you hear me? I can hear you, Gift.
Yeah, it was showing before you stopped it.
I thought you would say you could not see it. Please,
Yeah,
if you can, is
yes,
WhatsApp
no.
open on your laptop?
Look, I'm back on my phone.
So let me see now if I can share it from here.
Can't share again.
Can you see it now?
Yes, it's loading.
All right. Can you see the screen?
Not yet. Just calm
Not
down.
yet. Not yet. It's still
Okay,
showing
just
blank. Not yet.
Can you see it now? I think my network is really messed up in this way.
Uh,
But sure,
no,
I'm
I
currently
am not
sharing
seeing
it.
the screen.
No, not sure. Probably I'll share it, sha. I think my network is kind of good.
All right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let me just share it now. Give me some minutes. Please, if you can see it, just let me know.
Not yet. It's still showing blank. I don't know if it's only me, but it's still showing blank on my end.
It's not only you, but I think mine is a different case entirely because my network is not good at all. So I think I did not see majority of the presentations today when they started and even while in progress. So if you're not seeing it, you have a more, that's a more the proper reason for not seeing it than me. Yes, that,
I'm not even seeing it. Okay, yes, I
So,
can see your screen now. Yes, I can see your screen. Are you sure those are the slides? Okay, yes, I guess. Aha. Yeah, I can see your screen
yeah,
now.
see
I
it.
can see your screen now.
Yeah, okay now. Yep.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, clearly.
Okay, I just hope network don't break. So, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me again. Today, I want to talk about something big, how AI is actually growing across Africa. Not just the hype, not just the big scary numbers you see in headlines, but what's really happening on the ground. I looked closely at some 5 countries: Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Rwanda, because these are the places where government companies are. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yep.
Yeah, we can. We can.
Okay, I'm having serious network issues here. Uh, so please just please just keep displaying the slides. I am having network issues, so I'm not even seeing anything. But I'll just go on with the presentations. Now will signify when I'm on the next slide. Because these are places where government or companies are actually putting money and effort into AI right now. This is basically a snapshot of who's building what and who is funding it and what still needs to change. Let's go into, I'm on the second slide. This slide has big numbers and God help me. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
we can hear
Timileyin, I
you.
can hear you. I can see, like, can you see the screen?
I'm not seeing the screen. I'm just saying the presentation from my end. Well, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead. So first, let's talk about the size of this opportunity because it's honestly massive. Experts AI could unlock about $2.9 trillion for Africa by 2030. That's not a typo error. With a T on top of that, some
Hello, we can't hear you again. Oh. Hello.
I think, well, okay, okay. I, 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 I would wish I could step in for him because I'm his team member, but
Yeah, no.
in order not to, okay, if he comes back on, then I should be able to step back for him. So,
Yeah, no
was that
problem. You can just continue.
what AI will unlock for? Sorry, am I audible enough? Okay, so he was at what AI will unlock by 2030 for Africa. We have 2.9 trillion US dollars. That's grow Africa's economy by that value. The thing is, there are various sources. I think from we have PwC and we have other companies that did the research and found out this is what it is. So you see 1 trillion US dollars also. That's for GDP gains for the continent, and let's say for funds, that is the various funds that have been placed, or the funds I think that are needed also. The funds that are needed also. It's to be able to unlock. Yes, ma. The funds that are needed to unlock this particular. The funds that are needed to unlock this is actually, let's say,
Right. Your voice is
around.
breaking. Your network is really breaking.
Okay, can you hear me now? Much clearly.
Yes, we can hear
yes,
you
yes.
clearly now.
Network is really frustrating. Like network MTN is frustrating. I say.
Okay. Let me just return back to where I was. I was saying that Africa is going to get gains of up to 2.9 trillion US dollars from AI and AI related developments. We are talking about spaces like finance, agriculture, and let's say other spaces. All right. We're saying also that
Am I the only one not hearing bright or?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't hear him too.
um,
I think his network. Right.
sincere is let me see if I can continue. I was simply saying that the GDP of Africa's economy would potentially grow by.
Wow. Hello. Is Timileyin back? If Timileyin is back, you can take over because this bright network is something else. You can't even. I can't hear him at all again now. Bright, if you are hearing me, we can't hear you. Hello.
Please, yes, I am back online.
I can.
You guys will be.
I don't know. Is your network like?
So sorry.
Are you good for the next 10 minutes now? Can you take over from Bright? Because I think Bright's network is really bad.
All right.
Bright, hello. We can't hear you
So
clearly.
sorry. I think but I can hear you. I can hear you.
Like your voice is really breaking. I think it's
Yes,
your
I
network.
think I can. Okay, like, can you hear me now?
Yes, you can. You can.
Hello. Okay, so I was
I
at
can
the
hear you. I
point
can hear you
where
now.
uh, yes, in order for us to, I mean, there is a how do I put it? There is a there is a set aside fund for AI in Africa, and I think for AI in Africa to be funded, we need about 60 billion US dollars, and mm, there are initiatives that have been brought up. There was a meeting, I think, last 2 years. It was a meeting in Ghana. It had the IMF managing director and a couple of other um, players in the digital space. And in order for us to be able to set up Africa, like to provide, let's say, the basic infrastructure for even, let's say, the digital space, it requires just 15 billion US dollars. As at that time, I don't know, inflation and other factors would have come in now. All I'm saying is that there are initiatives already, but it's not really fluent, especially when we are talking about the opportunities to be unlocked. So we are looking at one of the initiatives. I think it was done by Kenya. It's supposed to unlock about 40 million jobs, all right, within the AI and the digital economy. Okay, so we have various countries. We still did the same method. We sampled out Rwanda, Kenya, South Africa, Egypt, and Nigeria. Looking at how, okay, I think, all right, okay. Looking at how they are, should I say, the initiatives that they are bringing, that's the opportunities, the being key players, the opportunities that are coming from those countries. I think Rwanda signed a memorandum of understanding in February this year with Anthropic AI. I think for something that has to do with maybe infrastructure, or I don't know. It's just like a memorandum of understanding. I didn't go deep into that, but I know it was done earlier this year. I think the date is not correlating, but it was done earlier this year. Kenya, yes. Kenya has had relations. Kenya has had good relations with Microsoft. Okay, and they are doing quite well. They have a center of they have a center. I know they have a center that really buttress around AI. We have South Africa, we have Egypt, we have Nigeria. These countries are doing quite well. Um, so I think the particular one that will unlock 40 million jobs, it was a 10 billion US dollars initiative by Kenya. I think it's an African like
Sorry,
collaboration, but I
Bright.
mean
Hello. Bright.
that's
Hello, Bright.
I can hear you.
Hello. Yeah, I was saying that if you could
I can hear you.
speed things up a bit.
Sorry.
Hello. I'm talking about the time. Like, probably if you could speed things up a little bit, probably like 5 minutes. Most of the time, time has gone.
Okay.
This is almost it.
Okay. All right. So, basically, when I was checking out the research, or when we were checking out the research, we decided to do like split the the sectors that are involved. We looked at the public and the private sector. The public sector, let's say the public sector contains, let's say, the institutions and should I say, yeah, institutions, I think, and the government, yes, something like that. Institutions and countries, yes. And then we have the private sector. The private sector contained, let's say, companies, right, including startups also that are involved in AI. And we looked at the key developments that has occurred, I think, over the past maybe few years. We can see um, is it here? Yes, it's here. Yes, so that's the slide that talks about the private sectors and how they are building solutions. So um, you can really go into it and see how it works. I mean, for those companies that are involved in that. So Africa has always had a unique way of, let's say, tailoring technologies to its own benefits. So we see agriculture, we see healthcare, we see language infrastructure. Yes, we see finance and manufacturing. Actually, those are the key areas where AI can. We're seeing the benefits of AI more within our continent. Yes, that those are the key areas where we're seeing AI benefits more. And those are actually where some of these companies and countries and institutions are really putting in their initiatives into. Sorry, I can't see the remaining parts of the slide. I think it's a bit obstructed. Um, sorry, sir. Gift, can you scroll up or down? I don't know.
Hello, which slide you want to see, the fifth or the sixth one?
The one below the high impact use cases by sector.
Okay, that's the policy recommendations.
Yes, the policy recommendations.
Okay, can you see it now?
The icon, is it me, is this me, BA? I don't know if that's me, but if that's me, I mean, like, can you help me push the icon upward and then help me scroll the slides, like, so I can see the slide below the high impact use cases by sector?
Wait, you can't see my screen now. I'm on the policy recommendation. Oh. Can you see it?
Oh, okay, I think it's network issues that is not making it show. But the policy recommendations, basically it gives recommendations to the things that or the areas that the institutions, the countries, the companies should really focus on, like how they should, let's say, how they should put in their how do I even put it? It's basically okay. I think I can see that things that have to do with funding, things that have to do with um do we call it now key performance indicators? Okay. This open language licensing really talks about data sets that can be made publicly available. So we can have AI models that are trained, that can be easily trained using African, like, languages and all those things. So there are opportunities. In fact, I think it's going to grow exponentially. We even have bigger companies coming into um, the continent, but these are actually things that would make this opportunity shine. There are various companies that are putting in efforts, but these are the recommendations that would make this opportunity. Sorry, that will make these opportunities more evident. As we mentioned in one of our earlier presentations, we only got I think $3 billion. I can't remember the value. So in order to catalyze this thing, so it's these are the things that we really need to look into for the key players and for the countries and all the likes. I think this should be the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello,
Yes,
hello.
yes. I can hear you. I mean, this
Yeah,
this is the end of, like, this is where
according to
I close it.
according to Ezekiel, awesome. You can say it like how many times? So let's give him a virtual round of applause. So I don't know why Ezekiel is. Okay, Ezekiel is back. Okay. Ah. Ezekiel, can you hear us? Ezekiel, I think Ezekiel can hear us. Can you guys hear me like clearly?
Hello, hello. Hello.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah,
Are you
we
guys
can
done
hear
with the
you.
presentation?
Yes, right is done.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I think I've shared all the announcements that we have for the coming week. I'll try to get the feedback from across to us. One thing we should do tonight is to pick what our capstone project is going to be, right? What our capstone project is going to be. And please, I just want to encourage us, make LinkedIn posts on your work, right? Make LinkedIn posts on your work. And with that, I think we can call it a night. Thank you so much, guys. Do have a good night rest. Apologies for the network breaks on my end. It was quite rainy here. Yep. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night. If you have any questions, you can drop it on the group chat or you can send it to me. Calls are coming. Or you can send it to me, right? So that'd be wonderful. Let's have a good night rest. Thank you so much.